get more details in a moment. I want to thank all of the law enforcement agencies at the federal, state, county, and city level, all of the agencies that have responded. Buffalo is known as the city of good neighbors nationally and internationally. This is a community where people love each other. The shooter was not from this community. In fact, the shooter traveled hours from outside this community to perpetrate this crime on the people of Buffalo. A day when people were enjoying the sunshine, enjoying family, enjoying friends, all manner of happy activities. People in a supermarket shopping and bullets raining down on them. People's lives being snuffed out in an instant for no reason. I have to say that this particular top supermarket is near and dear to my heart. It's one that I worked years ago to help bring to this community. It's one that I patronize from time to time. My family patronizes from time to time. And some of the victims of this shooter's attack are people that all of us standing up here know. So this is a day of great pain for our community. I want to just recognize some of those that are with us today before I turn things over to our Police Commissioner, Joseph Gramaglia, to give you more detail. I want to recognize County Executive Mark Poloncarz, Erie County Executive, Congressman Brian Higgins, Council President, Buffalo City Council President Darius Pridgeon, Erie County Legislature Chairwoman April Baskin, Erie County Legislator Howard Johnson. I want to recognize Governor Kathy Hochul and thank her for her calls. Governor's staff is with us now, and the governor is flying back into town and will be here sometime after 7 o'clock. I want to recognize Attorney General Letitia James, who has also called, and we have also received calls from the White House. Again, this is a day of great sadness for all of us in the city of Buffalo. To provide you with more detail, I want to turn things over to Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia.
Thank you, Mayor. At approximately 2:30 today, an individual who the mayor stated is not from this area and is from hours away drove to Buffalo, went to 1275 Jefferson Avenue to the Tops Market. He exited his vehicle. He was very heavily armed. He had tactical gear. He had a tactical helmet on. He had a camera that he was live streaming what he was doing. The individual exited his car and engaged 4 individuals. He shot 4 people in the parking lot. 3 of those were deceased. 1 individual at this time is surviving the injury. The individual went inside. As I said, he was an 18-year-old white male, walked into the store and began engaging customers inside the store. One of the individuals inside the store is the security guard, a beloved security guard, who is a retired Buffalo police officer, a hero in our eyes, engaged the suspect, fired multiple shots, struck the suspect, but because he had heavily armored plating on, that bullet had no round. The suspect engaged our retired officer, and he was ultimately shot and deceased at the scene. He continued to work his way through the store. Ultimately, he worked his way back towards the front of the store. Buffalo police immediately respond, engage the suspect in the vestibule of the store, and at that point the suspect put the gun to his own neck. Buffalo police personnel, 2 patrol officers, talked the suspect into dropping the gun. He dropped the gun, took off some of his tactical gear, surrendered at that point, and he was led outside, put in a police car and transported to Buffalo Police Headquarters. So as we said, a total of 13 people were shot today, 10 deceased at the scene, and 3 sustained non-life-threatening injuries. It appears to be non-life-threatening injuries at that point. 4 in total were store employees. One of those was the security guard who has worked at that location for a very long time. Many officers are on scene here knew him quite well. And the rest of the victims are customers of the store. As the mayor said, this tragic incident by someone who is not a part of our community, does not live here. We'll let some of the other agencies get into the information that's been posted online, and I will turn this over at this point first to our Erie County Sheriff, John Garcia. I would like to thank all of the agencies. We have a very, very close working relationship with every level of government, every level of law enforcement, and everybody was immediately calling and responding. We had a command post set up, and everybody is asking what we can do and how can we pitch in. The individuals from several hours away, the New York State Police and the FBI are investigating that part of the crime as well. So I will turn this over at this point to Erie County Sheriff John Garcia. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gramaglia. As your sheriff and on behalf of the men and women of the Erie County Sheriff's Office, our condolences to the victims and their families. From a law enforcement standpoint, the Erie County Sheriff's Office responded, boots on the ground, deputies, investigators, our helicopter in the air, our SWAT team on standby, and as Commissioner Gramaglia said, we are working together every single day to keep the community safe. This was pure evil. It was straight up racially motivated hate crime from somebody outside of our community, outside of the city of good neighbors, as the mayor said, coming into our community and trying to inflict that evil upon us. I urge everyone to stay calm, and we are there to protect the citizens of Erie County and Buffalo, and we'll be out there along with the City of Buffalo Police Department patrolling. And again, my condolences to the family, and this person was pure evil. So, thank you.
I'm Stephen Belongia. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the FBI's Buffalo Field Office. We stand here today confronted with feelings of anger, shock, confusion, fear, and compassion. We feel motivated to help and relieve the anguish of those who were killed and injured today and their families and friends. These victims did not deserve this. They were doing what we do every day, going to the grocery store or simply doing our jobs. The FBI is working this case jointly with our partners, with the Buffalo PD and our other federal, state, and local partners. We are investigating this incident as both a hate crime and a case of racially motivated violent extremism. Hate crimes fall within the FBI's Criminal Investigative Division, and racially motivated violent extremism cases fall within the FBI's Counterterrorism Division within our Domestic Terrorism section. The FBI is providing all necessary resources, both locally and nationally, to investigate this matter. We will not stop until every lead is investigated, every piece of evidence is analyzed, and until we understand how and why this horrible tragedy and crime occurred. Our thoughts and our prayers are with the family and the victims who died today.
I'm Trini Ross. I'm the United States Attorney for the Western District of New York. I want to start by saying my thoughts and heartfelt prayers go to the family, the victims, and the community that had to suffer this great and unnecessary tragedy today. We're working with our state, federal, and local law enforcement partners, as you've already heard from, to ensure that justice is brought to this community, to those victims, to their families. The United States Attorney's Office will be investigating this case along with our law enforcement partners as a hate crime and domestic violent extremism. I'm in touch with the highest levels of the Department of Justice. Resources will be put behind this investigation whatever we need. We will not stop until justice is brought to this community, those families, and the victims of this horrific crime. I can assure you, as the United States Attorney, I will bring whatever resources we need to this community to make sure that justice is done. This should never happen to anyone in any community. It surely shouldn't happen on a beautiful Saturday when people are just shopping and going through normal life events. We will ensure that the perpetrator of this victim is given justice, and justice will be done for this community.
Relax. All right. Let me first start out by saying thank you. Thank you to all my partners in law enforcement here, from the federal, state, local level. The amount of work that's been done so far has been extraordinary. The amount of information that's been gathered so far has been outstanding. And for everyone involved here, from Trini to BPD to the state police to the sheriff, I cannot thank enough. We here in Erie County, though, are not waiting. I have already called a judge, Judge Hanna, to come downtown immediately and arraign this individual. So within the next hour, this individual will be arraigned on a charge of murder in the first degree. I am not even going to mention his name right now, one, because the arraignment hasn't occurred, but more importantly, I don't want to give him any celebrityism at all right now. I don't want to give him anything right now that puts attention on him and the alleged, and again I say alleged, despicable acts that were committed today in our great city. So I'm not going to give you his name right now. I'll give it to you after I issue a press release after he's been arraigned. I anticipate the arraignment will be within the hour. But Judge Hanna is downtown right now. BPD in my office are drafting the charges right now, and he will be arraigned tonight. And that charge of murder in the first degree carries with it a life without parole sentence. Now, there are two aspects of the murder in the first degree charge that potentially could be charged here. The one obviously is crystal clear right now. There is a certain subdivision of the murder in the first degree that accounts for multiple individuals getting shot and killed, which is what we have here. As the commissioner said, we have 10 individuals who have unfortunately lost their life, 3 that have been shot but are going to survive, hopefully. There is also a second subsection of the murder in the first degree that has a racial component to it. Obviously, we will investigate that further. I want to make sure right now, though, when I arraign him tonight, my clock is ticking as far as my felony hearing date, which will be 5 days from now. So I want to make sure that I have the best charge right now to hold him in custody and to get this matter moving forward before I add any other charges on. But I can, and if those charges are applicable, which I think they may be, they will be added on. They're not going to increase the punishment at all from a state standpoint. From a state standpoint, it is life without parole, and that's as high as we can go. So I also want to thank my district attorneys across the country who have been texting me and calling me for the past 2 hours. I thank you for your thoughts. I thank you for your prayers. But more importantly, I want everyone to know that my thoughts and prayers are with the family members who have lost loved ones today in the city of Buffalo.
We'll next hear from County Executive Mark Poloncarz and then Congressman Brian Higgins.
And then I'll take any questions at the end.
As has been said by all the others, today is one of the saddest days in the city of Buffalo and Erie County's history. All of the county's resources have been made available as necessary to assist in this unfortunate, horrific act. As the mayor noted, we are the city of good neighbors, and we, of course, are not defined by this act, but how we will come together to support the families of those who have lost. And on behalf of the people of Erie County, I want to offer my deepest condolences to those who've lost a loved one today. Erie County mental health counselors, as well as our partners from the mental health community, are already on site to assist those who may have lost a loved one or those who were a witness to this horrific crime. And as we know, we will offer all resources possible from all parts of county government, whether of course it's the sheriff's office, the district attorney's offices, or the other departments, that to ensure that not only do this individual be prosecuted for this horrible crime and brought to the full extent of justice, but that we also can heal as a community from this traumatic experience.
Well, thank you very much, and let me just say to all of my colleagues in government, our law enforcement community, the eyes of the nation are on Buffalo, and those eyes are full of tears, and they're full of sympathy for the violence and the tragedy that's been exacted on good, innocent people who went to work this morning, said goodbye to their loved ones, expecting fully to return home tonight. 10 people are not going to return home. Their loss, their death, is a loss and a death that's exacted on this community. Our sympathy goes to the families, our thoughts go to the families and to the victims. And I couldn't be more proud of my mayor, my county executive, my district attorney, the U.S. attorney, and all of the elected officials that are here today in the law enforcement community who have coordinated this effort in a highly effective way. So this is something that hopefully we will learn from, something that will serve as a basis from which enacting policy at the federal level to get guns out of the hands of those people who should not have guns in their hands. And we hope that time will heal. And we are a good community. We are a giving community. We love our people. We love our diversity. And again, these people were people that for the past 24 months were working in service of others, and people who we called our heroes. And our heroes have been taken down today without justification.
So as we conclude, before we open up for questions, again, I want to express that our deepest and most heartfelt condolences are with the families of those who lost their lives today tragically and unnecessarily. If you would bear with us, we will open up for questions, and then we will conclude in prayer with Father Seil, the fire department chaplain, and our council president, Darius Pridgen.
Where is the shooter
Questions?
from? Where is the shooter from? You said he drove from.
We're not going to say right now. The state police and the FBI and the ATF are investigating his residence, so we do not want to state right now where he's from, but he is from a county here in New York State that is hours away.
Can you give us more information?
Wait, Hannah.
Can you give us more information on why you're calling this a hate crime at this point?
There are certain pieces of evidence that we have ascertained in the course of this investigation that indicate some racial animosity. I'm not going to specifically talk about or elaborate on what exactly they are right now, but we have evidence in custody right now that shows that there is some racial component to these alleged actions.
Susan Rose. Susan Rose.
What was the weapon, John?
It was an assault weapon.
Was he known to law enforcement?
No, and at this time does not appear.
To confirm if there was some sort of manifesto that was published?
I'm not going to confirm that.
Down
Is
here,
the
down
death
here.
penalty-
What?
Hold on,
Your question?
down here.
Will there be an open court for the arraignment?
Well, I mean, probably not, because it's going to happen like right now in closed city court, so no. The answer to the question is no.
There's
Sorry.
somebody in the back over there.
Could he face federal charges or the death penalty?
All options are on the table. As we go forward with the investigation, we will put every tool in our toolbox forth to make sure justice is done for the individuals of this horrific crime in our community.
Associated Press.
Is part of the evidence, can you talk about the victims? Were the victims all black and the shooter white?
Yes.
Can the commissioner respond to that?
So out of the 13 victims, 11 are African American, 2 are white. So there were 4 store employees.
Were those 4 store employees fatally shot?
We have the security guard, who was the retired Buffalo police officer, was fatally shot. 3 other store employees were non-fatal wounds.
Do you have the ages or an age range?
Not right now.
Was the suspect live streaming the shooting?
Yes.
Where was that live stream?
It was on a social media platform.
John, when was the last time first-degree murder was brought forward to a suspect in Erie County?
I believe it's only been done once in my tenure.
Kelly?
Do you think he was working alone, or could there be other dudes out
At-
there like him?
At this point, it appears that he was alone.
Tim?
Social media posts out there, you know, and I can't comment on the
Yeah.
veracity of them. Is there any reason law enforcement should have known who this individual is? Were there concerning posts that were brought to the attention of law enforcement anywhere?
No. At this time, we don't know that.
All right, anyone else?
I want to ask, we see this everywhere else. We never think that it's going to happen here. Congressman Higgins kind of mentioned this, but these people are our neighbors. We see them at the grocery store shopping every day. I mean, that has to be going through each and every single one of your minds right now and when you've heard about this.
Of course, and that's why we want to bring justice here. We want to bring justice to every individual who lost their life, to every family member who lost an individual today, to every individual who was a victim of this crime. Not only to the family members, but to the victims themselves. I mean, I learned a long time ago, when I was trying homicide cases back in the DA's office 20 years ago, that we, in the homicide field, when we're doing a homicide investigation, we speak for the dead. And when we speak for those who have lost their life, we are going to bring them justice, their families justice, and this community justice.
Can you give us more?
Let me respond to that, too. Many of us know this supermarket, this top supermarket on Jefferson Avenue very well. Many of us have been in and out of this supermarket. Our family members have been in and out of this supermarket. Some of us, many of us, know some of those who are victims of this horrific crime. So this is painful. This does hurt. It always hurts. And as the U.S. Attorney, Trini Ross, said, this should not happen in this community and any community anywhere in our country.
Mayor Brown, do you think this will exacerbate racial tensions in this community, even though the shooter wasn't from here?
You know, as we've all said, this is the city of good neighbors. We are a loving community. We are prayerful that this will not exacerbate racial tensions. We can't let an evil person divide this community and an evil person divide our country.
Can I address that, though? What I'm hopeful for is that this incident will bring us together, because as stated, this could have been any one of us or any one of our loved ones. We shop on Saturday, we go to supermarkets, we take care of our families, we go to work. And if this should bring us together and not tear us apart. And that's what I'm hoping as we go through the process of justice in this case, that we all band together to let the world know, because I'm getting texts from friends in other countries about this incident today. And we need to let the world know who Buffalo is, who the people in Buffalo are, and what we're going to do for our community and other communities in this great nation to make sure this type of crime is stopped.
What are the
One more.
Is this the
Hannah, go ahead, one more.
largest mass casualty event in the city?
I'm sorry?
Is this the
Commissioner.
largest mass casualty event in Buffalo?
As long as I can remember, yes.
Anyone else?
What
Hannah,
are
one more.
the age ranges of the people that have passed?
We're not going to get that right now.
Can you just tell us a little bit more about the timeline of how he was taken into custody? How long between the time this attack started and the time that it ended was he taken into custody, and did it take police to get there?
I don't have the exact answer on the time. We'll look into that, but it was a very fast response by our patrol officers, who immediately went inside the supermarket, did not hesitate, went right inside.
Was the shooter speaking when he was
live
We-
streaming?
We can't comment on that.
All right. We're going to conclude with prayer. Father Paul.
Father Paul Sile, and then Council President and Bishop Darius
So
Bridges.
everyone wants to join together here in prayer?
At a time like this, we go to our deeper spiritual selves, whether we believe in God, whether we don't, whether we're Christian or Jewish or Islamic or any other faith or not faith. There is something that unites us all together as human beings. As this terrible incident has torn at the heart of this community, we pray to you, loving God, creator of us all, to help us be ever more unified in the things that hold us together in common. Hear the prayers we offer for all of the people who have, and all of their loved ones, those who have died, those who are injured, those who are their family members awaiting word about them, for the store employees, for the firefighters, the police officers, the ambulance, the first responders. So deeply this touches our faith and our community and our beloved city of good neighbors that we know that we can only turn to you, O loving God, and to one another. Help us to have firm hope that we will see our loved ones again. Help us to come to that great reunion in the heavenly kingdom. Keep us safe. Keep your children safe. And help us always to work towards unity and never division. Jesus Christ says in the gospel that is read at Catholic services this weekend, if you are my disciples, you will keep my command. My command is that you love one another as I have loved you. Love one another. May we all of us live those words of loving one another. Bishop Darius.
Father, we come now for families of so many whose family members left the house to pick up bread, to buy eggs and butter, to just go to work. We pray for those families, that they may be comforted by you, even when evil has struck our city. We pray for every person in this community who witnessed it, every child who may have seen it, every mother who will not see their child tonight. Pray for guidance. Pray for peace. Pray for unity. But most of all, God, we pray that justice be done. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Would anticipate the governor is anticipated to arrive here shortly and come here.
Here,
Yes.
yeah, we have another
Yes, I would anticipate, what time is it right now, guys?
6:18.
I'm assuming around 7 o'clock. Around 7 o'clock, okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Do we just keep it for hopeful? I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I'll grab it.
Tell me what the soundbite was.